Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Swati Smita, the Digital Transformation Consultant and Tech Research Head at Technavik. So first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you to the most awaited webinar at Technavik Solutions, that is fast forwarding digital transformation. We are a digital transformation enablement partner aspiring to be a thought leader which helps company in achieving their transformational goals. Okay. So I beg to introduce Technavik solution first. I hope you all are agreeing with me to know about more about the Technavik. So we operate in practices like analytics, business productivity that is morely fueled by low code, RP implementation, and quality assurance. Each practice is being led by the practice heads who are actually 10 to 14 years of experience in that field, and continuously they are hustling to bring in the best befitting technology to the companies, and obviously that is actually make it easier to go seamlessly with their transformational journey. So why we are introducing this? Because as we all must have observed in the pandemic, so most of the IT leaders across organization, they are actually scaling up at a very higher pace. So that was probably the propelled by this momentum that was created by this pandemic. Okay. So to deep dive into this transformation, we have created a discussion forum, which is Technavik's Fireside
Yeah.
Chat series. So I would really like to introduce Mr. Sudin Baraokar here. So he would be our first speaker in this Fireside Chat series point one. So Mr. Sudin, a very warm welcome to you. And do you want to share some inspirational thoughts before going ahead with the actual discussion?
No, great. In fact, really glad to know that Technavik Solutions is focusing on this space of digital transformation, because that's what the real want. The world really wants digital transformation, right? And I've been part of these journeys. So really excited that in India, we are focusing on this. My agenda and vision is also to make India the emerging tech capital of the world, the innovation and transformation capital of the world, and happy to collaborate with Technavik Solutions to take this journey ahead.
Thank you so much. Just to introduce Mr. Sudin, so I know these few words would actually limit his expertise in like the technologies or maybe in his experiences globally. So anyway, he is the one of the most best IT advisors, and he has expertise over 70 plus technologies like cloud, data management, data warehousing, AI, low code, no code, blockchain, and many more. He has also a very vast experience in banking and fintech. Am I right, Sudhir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this also again not limited like his expertise. So he has also trained over 100,000 students and working professionals in exponential and emerging technologies. So we'll be looking forward to your insightful conversation with us, Sudhin. So without any further delay, let's just start with our agenda of the discussion. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Sudhin, we'll be discussing about the current IT industry scenario. Then we'll go ahead with the technology that is driving this entire pace. Like as for you, you must have observed very closely this industry. Okay. Then your practices and the challenges that you have faced while working on these large organizations. And last but not the least, what will be the future of this industry? Your futuristic view in this upcoming decade. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So going to our first agenda. So kindly just share some deeper insights about the industry, like how it is going right now.
I think the current industry, we badly require transformation, and we have to have this innovation agenda. The reason being, that's what the world wants, right? I've been in touch with a lot of large global enterprises, mid-sized enterprises, even startups, and all of them are coming to this focus because it's this entire deep tech, emerging tech, innovation and transformation space is growing very rapidly. And the other trend in the industry is that everybody is also wanting to develop these headless systems. Headless systems are completely automated, autonomic platforms all across. So be it e-commerce or be it fintech or be it even in the manufacturing industry and a lot of other industries. So I think this particular agenda is very important. As I want to repeat myself, is that the amount of jobs that are available in the emerging tech space is probably 100 times more than what we have in the annuity IT space. So it also becomes very important for entrepreneurs, startups, even the younglings in the workforce to get embedded and immersed in this innovation and transformation agenda, so that in relation to this, the entire technical vitality of the entire ecosystem also grows and scales up.
Okay, okay, that's really the true thing right now. Every small or medium organization that is needing the transformational journey to scale up their, maybe success stories. They want to write their success stories on their own through this digital transformation, as we can see. So yeah, like any technology that is very close to your heart, maybe that is also driving the entire pace of this industry.
I think the top technologies which really will completely transform is one is LCNC or low code, no code. And I've seen this emerging extremely fast. I've seen it emerging purely as a low code, no code technology. I've also seen the merger of this low code, no code with something called as RPA, which has already been prevalent in the industry and again growing very fast, like robotic process automation and intelligent process automation. I have myself used low code, no code. I have seen that I have been able to build up enterprise scale kind of mobile applications for one of my startups and for some of my customers in just about 2 to 3 weeks. Typically, if I would have used it the non-low code, no code way, it would have taken more than 2 to 3 months to do this, to develop this enterprise mobile application. So I think a mix of low code, no code, automation, as well as AI is some of the hottest technologies that are available out here, which I urge everyone to use, as well as the other trends which are also coming in a very, very big way, and some of the IT initiatives as part of my CIO focus has been to also focus on Go Digital, open APIs, analytics, cloud native, as well as a lot of the cloud bursting innovations where we can merge the cloud with the hybrid IT model so as to get optimize the compute network and storage resources.
Completely got it. But if we ask about the competition about this low code no code platform, or maybe you can just rate out of 10, like how much it is the awareness in this market, like if everyone is going for the low code no code, or anyone is also preferring to go in that traditional approach, as per your observations.
So low code, no code has been, the adoption is increasing, I would say exponentially. It's already a technology which has been an emerging tech for the last 3-4 years, and there is now adoption in the large enterprises. I think that's a space where it's going to happen, because in large enterprises, and coming from the world of State Bank and Barclays and IBM and GE, which are very old companies and very large companies, we run the, so for example, in SBI, we run the bank and we change the bank, right? So when we change the bank, we have to get, try out, evaluate, pilot, as well as deploy all these new emerging technologies, which is your low code, no code. So it will take some time, but I see the adoption becoming much faster. The run the bank element, where we run all our mission critical systems like our core banking, payments, also has to integrate with what we do on the change. So apart from just writing the low code, no code, or using the low code, no code for change the organization or transforming, we will also at some particular date or some, in a phased manner, also integrate that particular low code, no code technology with our existing code repositories, with our existing engineering and development aspects of our applications, right from core banking to payments to risk. So I think it'll take a little more time, but I can see a lot of rapid adoption. The reason being is that all the emerging tech workloads, like whether it's AI or machine learning or deep learning, are all are easier to deploy using these low code, no code, which are mostly DIY templates. So you get these low code, no code as do-it-yourself templates, wherein apart from technical, technologists, even a business user, even a person having limited experience of technology can take these templates and get the results straight away, in the next few hours. That's the biggest benefit. So it's not just the technologists in the company working on low code, no code. You can also have the business side of it. You can have the entire workforce being trained on this, and together working in collaboration and in synergy with the technology workforce, you can have all these innovations and transformations come forward with these new technologies like low code, no code.
So, so as you have worked globally and with the large organization, can I just, ask you some few questions like how those organizations are transforming right now? Like, any 5 technologies that you can name, so that in maybe in banking industry some technology, or maybe manufacturing industry some technology that you want to just give an example of.
So I don't only want to give an example, but I can tell you some of our global best practices that we've achieved in terms of digital transformation. In 2017, when I was head of innovation at State Bank of India, the largest bank in India, in our country, as well as the top 30 global bank after the merger of its subsidiaries, we benchmarked our core banking systems at approximately 24,000 transactions per second, about 1.5 billion transactions a day, to cover 500 million plus customers and 700 million plus accounts. This is the most advanced, powerful, state-of-the-art, complex core banking system in the world, made in India by Indian technologists. And today we can see that all the banking services of these large banks run perfectly. During even the lockdown, we could see that when people had to be at home, we could transact all the different banking transactions, whether to move money or transfer money or to collect money or to even request for a moratorium. All this was done, right? So we've already implemented such large digital transformation programs in large banks, very, very successful. And this is a lot of the help we got is using a lot of the emerging technologies like cloud native, AI, automation. We are also now going to start using blockchain-based smart contracts in some of the large banks. So digital transformation is not just an example. I think we are living it. We are using it. As you can see that banking, something like banking, it's very important to have this digital transformation because it's a mission critical system. Imagine if, we don't get our salary or payments in time, what will happen, to more than a billion of our citizens, right? So, these transformations are now even further expanding because that's what the world wants. And that's what entrepreneurs and enterprises are every day innovating and transforming.
Yes. So proving go digital again to the entire banking system, maybe.
Yeah, interestingly, it's not just the coverage. I mean, 500 million plus customers and 700 million plus accounts. It's just not that. I've seen from my implementation in State Bank as well as in Barclays and other large banks, I have seen that going digital also helps in better audit, in better GRC, that's governance, compliance, governance, risk and compliance, because now we have a lot of data. And we're now using AI, we're using data science, we're using new models, we're using alternative methods, which we previously didn't have that particular data. So we could not do anything. Now we have the data, we can do a lot of analytics and, actually also lower the cost of transactions as well as improve the overall user experience, the digital experience, the UI, so that the customer also gets a very cool feeling coming to a lot of these digital applications and digital banking kind of platforms, and do their transactions and have a very good feel at the end of the day.
Okay, that's really great. So, like any challenges you want to share with us, like any challenges in your entire career as a global leader, maybe. So, can you just share with us?
That's a great question. I mean, challenges are, bound to be there, but we never thought of challenges. We just got the work done, right? So, but yes, there would be challenges across reskilling the workforce, cross-skilling the workforce, a lot of the change culture transformation that has also to be, got across organizations. For example, in SBI, we have more than 270,000 employees, right? It's a massive,
Right.
more than that, right? So even in Barclays, we've had a lot of very big workforce. So it's also reskilling, cross-skilling, as well as changing the entire, bringing in the change culture, right? Making sure that this transformation and innovation focus is not only important for the bank, it's important for billions of our customers. It's important for society. It's important for a lot of the national objectives. For example, in India, we have been very successful with the financial inclusion, the Jan Dhan program, where we already have more than 500 million accounts. These are accounts with balances ranging from 0 rupees right up to maybe 10,000 rupees. So, and it's very successful because now we can give in all the services, all what we can, give even more, push even more banking services in a digital way to these 500 million kind of customers, Jan Dhan customers. And we have this JAM trilogy, which is your Jan Dhan, your Aadhaar, and your mobile smartphone. So with that, we can immediately cover 500 million people straight away in a complete contactless, seamless, and digital manner. So when we do these large transformation programs, it's not just to show off or just to say that, hey, we are covering more than 500 million plus customers. It's also to benefit society on a very, very large scale, and also to push a lot of the authority and regulatory initiatives, like for example the the Mudra loans or the MSME loans, which have been given to a wider section of society so that they can survive, they can get that necessary cash flow, they can invest in small equipment, they can become entrepreneurs, they can earn money, they can also raise their standard of living, right? So it's a much more deeper implication when we do these digital transformation programs.
Exactly. So it is not only, boost up the economy, but obviously solving the most basic roots of, problems, maybe the ground root problems of our economy.
Absolutely.
So one thing I just noticed, like the RPA technology, maybe the automation part, like how that is helping the industry, like most of the manufacturing industry, maybe.
Yeah, I think RPA is helping all industries, whether it be manufacturing or be it banking, or even it be retail, because some of the implementations have been great successes, wherein if you go to the internet banking or the internet platforms of these companies, even a manufacturing company, nowadays the entire interaction, previously we would have had to call up if we had a problem with finding out what that product is or services, or if we wanted more details, we would have to call up the call center, and that would be a lot of time gone by. You'll be sometimes put on hold because at times you would only get time during a weekend, and everybody will be calling up the call center. So you'll have to have, be in queue for 15, 30 minutes doing nothing sometimes, right? Here, instantly through RPA, through bots, we have a bot which can answer, which can converse, which is completely automated, which is now, and over the months, we have, we have built the intent and the objective engine in a much better way, so that it can be, the response can be, the confidence levels, I must confess, initially we started at 30-40%, but now it is at nearly 98-99%. It means that if a question posed online by a customer, the bot is now able to 99% of the time respond in a very relevant, specific manner. All right. So this level of automation then can help us reduce our folks in organizations which are doing these kind of tasks, these manual tasks, and replace and put them into more kind of higher value addition kind of roles. And this entire contact center piece can be completely automated, completely autonomic, and it has, and as I said, less of sometimes, if there's no intermediation, there is the less of bias. And now we have all the digital data where we can now analyze the conversations, we can do further analytics, what went well, what went bad, how much time is the customer spending on these conversations, and what has been the feedback. So all this is, I think, very beneficial to have these automated worlds, so that our workforce can focus on much important tasks like maybe risk management or credit monitoring, or maybe recovery, and all these manual tasks can be completely automated, which we have done very successfully.
Exactly. So that's why this chatbot and NLP programs are like, maybe recently it is very hyped in very, IT industries. Most of them, like in banking also, I can see the example of a recent bank. I just don't want to name that, but the chatbots are keep calling, and they just wanted to maybe analyze the voice modulation. If you are saying yes, then they are taking that, like as per their questions, customized questions.
Yeah, and what we started with just conversational, automated conversations, and automated help is now in phase 2. We are also going to make sure that the bots do the entire transaction for the user also.
Exactly.
So like for example, if there are some 5 or 6 process steps in any transaction, maybe a payment transaction, or maybe even raising a ticket, even that will be automated by the bot, right? So that will also be a very good benefit, because again, less time will be spent, and the customer experience will also improve. And then we are also able to push forward more products and services to users through a single channel, right? So I think it's a great success, and it continues to benefit large sections of society.
Some of the, like most of the, not exactly most of the, like some part of maybe companies, they believe that this is actually a security threat. So in what you mentioned in the transactional part, so what is your take on it? Like, how can we convince that companies that this is actually a one step ahead decision to go into your success path, not the security threat wala part?
So, you all can be rest assured that in the banks, at least which I have worked in, and very large global banks, we have put in a lot of security kind of procedures in place. We have aligned to various standards, like for payments, we have aligned to PCI DSS and PSD2. On the other security aspect, we have inserted even more security layers. We've added, now included MFA, multi-factor authentication. So apart from just your login and password, you will have to also go through OTP, and only then will your transaction go ahead. Now, apart from your password and OTP, we have also given another layer, a third layer of authentication, wherein at the back of your debit card there is a 3D grid with some numbers, and you have to also, the customer has to also put in those numbers as an added layer. So transactions which are much more than of a high value, where it is required to make sure that there's no fraud or no hack, and make sure that the transaction is secured, and the customer also has the confidence that to go ahead. So we have this 3 layers of security, right? So I mean, I must confess that yes, we still need to do a lot to make sure that the fraud reduces even further. But you can be rest assured that some of the banks that I've worked in have been always investing, as well as making sure that the amount of fraud is gets reduced, and we've actually implemented all these solutions to make sure that the customer can go ahead and complete the transaction.
Exactly. So we must have, noted all these things. So one thing I want to see, like, what will be the future? Like, as per you, what will be the future in upcoming decade, maybe this IT industry? Like, how, in what direction it is going?
No, I see a massive future. I mean, post COVID, we are going to live in this contactless, seamless, and digital world, and that's fantastic because with that now we can, just as in e-commerce, and e-commerce was one of the first, some of the first initial industry players to get in this concept of headless platforms, where the entrepreneur or the various stakeholders, either the entrepreneur from a startup or the stakeholders in large organizations, can focus on the core activity of that organization or startup, and everything else becomes completely automated. So your total cost of ownership to run these platforms, right, be it e-com or fintech or payment or virtual inventory or whatever it is, that is going to be very, very less, so that that money saved can be then utilized for the core activities of your startup or your organization. So I think this is a very, very big transformation that that is coming across, and it's already being implemented in large parts, and this will continue. And again, just to reiterate, a lot of the questions are sometimes about job security. What will happen to my job? I can tell you that there are 100 times more jobs in designing and developing all these headless platforms than ever before, right? So I think it's going to be a great transformation for society to push this agenda, as well as also start leveraging AI and machine learning, so that and data science, so that we can predict results better. For example, this entire supply chain has gone for a toss, right? The entire global supply chain has gone for a toss. Chip makers can't make chips. The automakers don't get chips, and therefore they can't make cars, right? And there's just one part of the industry, right? So with better data science, better data, better analytics, we can also now rewire and reconfigure these new worlds and have better stability, more predictability, and more value across the entire ecosystem.
Part, then the data management, and most probably it will need the right skill set at the right place, right? So we don't need to fear that the jobs are going to be reduced. We just have to scale up ourselves.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I ask, sometimes in the keynote addresses that I give is, when was the first AI system invented? And some answers are like 60s or 70s or 80s. In fact, the first AI system was built more than a century back by a company called Honeywell in 1913, 1914, in the form of an autopilot. And that same autopilot could fly the plane without the intervention of the pilot. That same autopilot has saved billions of lives. Today, aviation is still the safest. Yeah, there were a few crashes, but that's got nothing to do with the autopilot, right? So I think we have to live in a world where we live with the technology, work with the technology, in synergy with the technology. The autopilot has never replaced the role of the pilot. We still have the pilot. It's improved the safety. It's gotten better analytics. It's gotten many more benefits that previously were not possible. Even if we look at the other question is all this AI and automation rocket science? Can a common man actually implement all this? I think so. Look at the example, and this is where the digital transformation really has a very big social impact. I mean, look at this actual real life example of all these chauffeurs and drivers of these aggregators, these mobile aggregators or cab aggregators like Ola and Uber. They know how to use a smartphone. They know how to accept digital payments. They know how to onboard themselves. They know what is eKYC. They know what is GPS. They know what is smart optimization, route optimization. I must confess, some of them even know better than IT professionals. I must confess that, right? Who taught them? Right? Who taught them? Did industry teach them? No. Did government teach them? No. Did academia teach them? No. They learned it by themselves. And today that same chauffeur or driver can earn 10 times as much, and that asset, be it a car or a rickshaw, is now utilized 24/7. Previously we could see those lines of cabs or rickshaws, just waiting for a customer. I've seen that sometimes they would have to wait like 4-5 hours for a customer. Today, that same asset is being used 99% at full capacity, right? So this kind of transformation should be encouraged, should be pushed, wherein the common man learns by himself, just as in technology, like all the AI, cloud, everything I learned by myself. You don't expect that I had some big team of army of IT professionals in such large banks or such large organizations. I had to learn the technology myself. And this is also reflected deep down in society, where a common man just picked up this transformation agenda and just transformed themselves. And that's so much beneficial for the entire nation.
Right. So every small and medium organization should look up, and at this point of view, like they should transform themselves. Like they shouldn't even worry about the cost and benefit the option.
I don't
they
think
should go ahead with.
Yeah, for these drivers and chauffeurs. I don't think they have any cost. They had no option but to learn, right? And it's so successful. The same way entrepreneurs and MSMEs and SMBs have to, because another problem that they would face is the workforce. Today, you don't get the workforce. You don't even get the skilled workforce, right? Exactly. In the US, you already have something called as the Great Resignation. This is unprecedented, and in spite of that Great Resignation, the unemployment levels in the US are at the lowest ever. So This is a complete change world. Right? Yes, in spite of all the jobs going, a lot of jobs going due to COVID, more jobs have been added. More entrepreneurs have come in. Companies are now hiring, and in spite of all this, we have come to one of the lowest amounts of unemployment. Right? So there is no option for us. We have to push this transformation agenda. We have to use emerging technologies, exponential technologies, and take it ahead.
Exactly. So with this, I really, I kind of, noted down the most of the insightful information that you have shared. But before going ahead, can you just share some maybe generalized information to our audience so that they can also implement in their organization?
Yeah, sure. I think, a lot of these headless platforms is something that entrepreneurs can do it by themselves. They can virtually build a digital storefront. They can start doing the business. They can create a virtual inventory model. They can optimize and automate the entire supply chain. right, across all industries, be it, retail or, agri industry, or, whichever industry, or manufacturing, or, any other services industry. So I think these are examples where, it's out there, the opportunity is out there. So we have to take the shot and get it done, right? In one of the banks which I worked, which was as I mentioned before, a government large public sector bank, right? 277,000 employees. I was told that doesn't matter, fail, but fail fast and take the shot and move on with the next technology. This was told to me by the very senior stakeholders, the board, the chairman, very senior stakeholders. So if you can have this approach in a public sector organization, right, which and we all know, the public sector organizations. So you can have this risk taking ability.
Right.
You have this kind of support for going digital, and for doing the innovation and transformation using emerging tech. Then it's all for us to take this opportunity. If we don't take it, it'll be for us to lose, right? And if we take it, then we are also, as I said before, the entire technical vitality of the ecosystem will rise. We will become the emerging tech capital of the world. We are already the IT services. India is already the IT services capital of the world. But here we're talking about becoming the innovation and transformation capital of the world, which has a much more, a 10 times or 20 times more economic and impact than just doing core services, or based on either labor arbitrage or based on the skills, right? So this is very important. I think we must just focus on it, and we have both the authorities and regulators in the country also supporting us. We have the best digital infrastructure in the country, and we should make full use of it. We have a young workforce which needs to focus on these emerging technologies and do-it-yourself technologies, and that's the way, as a nation, we all will be successful.
Exactly. So then it is really a very inspiring story, like transformational story, right from your diary. So thank you so much for giving us so much insights into the industry, the IT industry, what it is doing, how it will be transforming again and again, and also the economy, how it is moving with the hand to hand with the technology. So I must be very assured that the audience will also be grateful to you for sharing the thoughts and the inspiring the maybe strategies that you have shared just now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sudin,
Thank you for
attending
hosting
this.
me, and wish you all the very best with all your great initiatives you all are doing. Great to know that you have focused on this innovation and transformation agenda. Very glad that you have focused on it, and wish you the very best, and happy to collaborate with you and the Technavik solution in the future.
Thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to much more discussion with you in this series, maybe. Okay.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you so much. So yeah, I will be looking forward to your questions also. That will be, you can actually comment, write down. So Sudin can also answer those questions for you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, bye.